It says I'm not lucky. All right. Why? I am live everywhere I want to be, except LinkedIn. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whenever you see this video, because I'm going to let this video play because I've got some good stuff for you. Hello, everybody. My name is Kim Coles, and I'm delighted to spend a little time with you. I'm delighted as I record this tonight. It is pre-Thanksgiving evening. The restaurants in California, as of right now, are all going on shutdown. Our governor has shut us down and said, you can't even eat outdoors. You can't even eat outdoors because of the pandemic. So I will be cooking and eating every meal inside or getting delivery like I've been doing for the last couple of months. So hope everybody's doing well. How's everybody doing? I will not be looking at excuse me, a lot of the comments tonight because I have a really cool presentation for you, but I see a few people showing up. My William P. Miller, my Ramis, Anthony Wayford. Hello, how are you? Hey, Tony Wayford, how are you? Jennifer Joe, happy almost Thanksgiving. Happy 2020 is almost over. And like I said, I've got a really cool presentation I'd like to share with you right now. So welcome, come on in. This is especially for you excuse me, if you are a speaker, a coach, an author, an entrepreneur, business owner, anyone who speaks or who wants to speak, I have a really special presentation for you. In case you didn't know, I'm Kim Coles, and I am an actress, a comedian, an author, and a speaker. And I'm also a coach. I coach speakers, authors, business owners, entrepreneurs, visionaries to be able to speak and use their voice and use their message so they can do something really special. They can get their message out, and more importantly, get their message in to the hearts of others. I remember I had a coach years ago, and that's one of the first things I learned and really had this beautiful aha and fell in love with getting coached and then became a coach myself. And she said, don't just focus on getting your message out. You got to get your message in. And so we're going to be talking about that right now. Stay tuned. I have a presentation for you. I'm going to take a sip of tea and begin. Mm-hmm. All right, so here's what we're going to do. All the people here, thank you so much for being here. We're going to talk about how to clarify your message so you can speak your gifts. Let me go to my presentation over here and hit the slide situation. So I hope that you all can see this. Let me know if you can't, and I'll make adjustments. I want you to know that the time is now for you to pivot on purpose. I started using this phrase a little while ago in the middle of when the pandemic really hit and when it got really sort of intense. There became a really big conversation about pivoting. What are we going to do with what we're faced with right now? What are we going to do with how long this is going to last? Nobody knew what was going on, and people started really talking about pivoting. And to me, that means taking your ideas, your gifts, your talents, and finding new ways to use them because the old ways aren't going to work anymore. And we don't know if those old ways are ever coming back. Some of the old ways, I don't care if they ever come back. We have to rise to the occasion and shift and change and be nimble, so to speak. And so one of the things I want to talk to you about tonight is the 5 P's that are needed for success right now. And if you're in the chat, Team Kim is in the chat answering your questions and comments. I'm focused on the presentation, which also begins with P. So from my perspective, there's 5 P's that are really needed for success right now. And they are pivot, which means being nimble, taking what you already got and shifting it in a way so that you can still do what you do and do what you do well. It's paying attention to all the sights and sounds that we're going through right now and finding new ways to get your gift out into the world. The next P is perspective. I'm really big on perspective and looking at things from fresh, new eyes. Things will never be the way they were before. Like I said, I'm okay with most of that. And it's about dealing with what you already have, really being present to what's here and looking at it with fresh new eyes. The next P is about purpose, really stepping into your purpose fully and more richly than ever before. To me, if there's anything that 2020 taught us, is that anything can happen, and a whole lot of things happening. Like it never stopped, and the year is not even over yet. So anything can happen, and that the more you are attuned to your purpose and your reason for being here, more than ever, it's necessary. It's so necessary because we don't know how much time we have. And then the next P is about stepping into your power. And again, now more than ever, to step in and stay in your power in all areas of your life it's just very important. And I don't know about you, even though 2020 was really challenging, it was actually one of my best years ever because I was challenged to step fully into my power in so many ways without having to be all out there, because I couldn't be out there. None of us can really be out there the way we used to, in the way that we used to. And so it's stepping into your power in a fresh new way. And the other piece is the pride, stepping into and being proud of who you are and what you've overcome and what you are becoming. And there's nothing wrong with that part of pride. I don't mean pride as in boastful and narcissistic and rude. I mean being proud of who you are, being proud of how far you've come, and using those platforms to be able to share with others and teach others. And we'll talk about that too. So the time is now for you to pivot on purpose. So first, I want to tell you about a favorite episode of mine of The Twilight Zone. So I don't mind telling how old I am. I'm 58 years old. I will be 59 in January. And so I'm a child of the 60s and a child of a lover of the TV that was on at that time. And The Twilight Zone was absolutely one of my favorite shows. And one of the episodes that's one of my favorites that sticks out the most, you may remember, or you may get a chance to see. And listen, they've redone The Twilight Zone about 100 times. I'm talking about the old school Twilight Zone. This episode right here. So Burgess Meredith, the late great Burgess Meredith, played a character named, I think his name was Harold Bemis. And as you can see here, and these are production skills. Production stills from that episode. I believe the episode was called Time Enough to Spare or something like that. And so he's a gentleman that wore very, very thick glasses. Back in the day, we used to call them Coke bottle glasses. He didn't see very well, and he loved to read. He was a book nerd. And everyone in his life got angry at him for reading all the time. So he would be reading while he was at work. When he came home from work, his wife would hound him. She was quite the shrew. Put those books away. She would smack the books out of his hands. And he just wanted to read his books. He was just so lovely and sort of a nerd and wanted to be left alone with his wonderful books. And so his boss used to get mad at him and he was just really not even focused on the world. He was focused on his beautiful books. And so there's this episode that he was going to lunch. He decided to go into the bank vault. I didn't tell you that he worked as a teller at a bank. And he went into the bank vault, which is, very quiet and very safe. And the walls are made of whatever the material, made of metal, intense. And he took a book in there just to read and enjoy himself in the peace and the quiet of the bank vault. And unbeknownst to him, at this time, the apocalypse happened. Someone dropped a bomb on the outside of the bank. He felt the shake. He felt the world sort of shaking up. Maybe it was an earthquake. I'm sure he didn't know what it was. When he opened the bank vault door, the world was gone. There was smoke, billowing here and there. There were no more people. There was just nothing but him. He was the last man on earth, or so he thought, right? Just like walking through the rubble and the smoking. And I forget back then what bomb we were afraid of. I don't know. It wasn't nuclear yet. It was the H bomb. Who knows what it was? But the world was decimated. It was the worst catastrophe but he was the last man standing. And he was devastated and worried and, oh my God, and how am I going to do? And I don't even want to live anymore. And this is horrible. And then while he was walking around, he happened across what was the library. It was like he found a sign that said the library. And all these pieces of books, and some of them were still lit on fire. And he began collecting them. And he said, wait a minute, there's time for me to read now. I've got nothing but time. And so he started collecting his books. And that's why I said, I know this is a production skill still, because he's in a room there. And, at this particular time, in the story, there was no more walls. So he stacked up all of his books and he was so happy. He was like, okay, I can read those in January and I'll read those in February. And that's March and that's April. And he just stacked them up and said, I've got books to read for years and years. Suddenly, he looks down and there's a book that has fallen onto the ground, and he goes to pick it up. And when he does, his glasses fall off and they break and they shatter into 1,000 pieces. Now, this is a man, you can look at him and tell that this is a man who can't see very well without his glasses. He then begins to cry, and he utters the line that is my favorite line from this episode and from any episode of Twilight Zone, really one of my favorites, is, "That's not fair. That's not fair. There was time now. There was time now." By the way, as a side note, John Hinton, the one who played Overton on Living Single, and this was our favorite line to repeat to each other. That's not fair. There was time now. And so I love this episode because even as a kid, I got the gravity of it. I got the importance of it, that, we live this life thinking that things are going to be the way they're going to be. And then something happens and then you try to figure it out. And then sometimes it doesn't turn out the way you want it to. And what happens when there's time and then there is no more time? Well, I'm happy to say that we have time. This time, in fact, this year was one of my most productive years ever because I wasn't doing things the way I always did. And I bet it's the case for you too. You were home more. You were doing things in a different way. The world sort of slowed down. And I don't know about where you live. I know here in Los Angeles, the smog went away because nobody was driving. We were all staying home and trying to stay safe. I think my angel wings fell. I had angel wings at the top of it. They're gone. Time changed, time slowed down because we were and we are in the middle of this pandemic. You had to look at things in a different way. I'm saying to you, what if you have time now? And what if I change the perspective and tell you that the time is now? Like I said before, I think 2020 has taught us that anything can happen. We don't know what's going to happen next, and we don't know how much time we have. So what are you going to do with the time that you have left? I think very important questions to ask yourself. I have some questions for you too, some focus questions, I like to call them. This year taught me to ask myself, well, what can I do versus what I cannot do? So if I can no longer go to restaurants and sit outside and be normal, if I can no longer travel like I used to travel and focus on that, I'm going to get really depressed. But if I focus on what I can do, I can create a beautiful home with my new boyfriend. Wink, wink. We can cook at home. We can start a garden. We can read more, talk more, be together more. What can I do? What can you do versus what you cannot do is a really fresh perspective to look at things. Don't focus on what it was. It ain't that way anymore. What is it right now? Look at what this present challenge taught you. And I mean this challenge and any challenge you ever have. What is it teaching you at this time? And then the magic secret sauce of life is, what can you teach others about what you've learned about your challenge? That's what this presentation is about tonight. I'm coming to you now because I learned so much. I just want to share it with you and put a smile on your face and give you some ahas if they're there for you to have. The other question I love to ask right now, and this is a big one, and I don't know about you, at the top of the year, you make your New Year's resolution and how life is going to be, and 2020 was going to be the year of fresh vision. and it all went down the toilet. We couldn't do anything about it, right? But I love to ask myself, what specifically can I still do to make a difference in the world in 2020 and beyond? And if just shifting your mindset is all you do, then you're doing plenty. But I've got some ideas of some other ways that you can still make a difference, and I'm going to share them with you. So the way you do it is you pivot on purpose. So I'm going to ask you to imagine with me just a little bit for just a moment. What if you could become a sought after expert? What if you could stand above the online noise? Like now there's a lot of noise online. Like we're online more than ever. You know, my phone always tells me how much screen time I've used. And during this time, I've used more screen time. I'm on my devices more than ever, right? Well, if you're an expert, if you're a speaker, a coach, an author, a teacher, an entrepreneur, there's a lot of noise. But I'm telling you, what could you do to stand above the noise? What if you could? I'm going to show you how in just a moment. What if you could easily be booked to speak and teach? Listen, all those events we were going to, all the empowerment events we were flying to and hanging out at, they're all done for now. People have gone online and they're probably going to stay there a really long time because the costs are low. Meeting planners are like, why would I do a live event, even though I want people in the room, when I can do it on Zoom, I can do it on StreamYard, I can do it on these other apps. And so people are getting booked to speak and teach more and more online. What if you could sell more, impact more, give back more, and live and leave your legacy? So you can't leave your legacy unless you live it first. Let's talk about that too. I want you to broadcast your brilliance. I want you to tap into your innate gifts and talents and skills and treasures and share them with the world. Now more than ever, we need you to be the best version of you in the world. I think the way to do that is through story. I'm a storyteller by nature, and I have discovered the power of story, which we'll talk about in a moment, and the power of me teaching it to others, teaching the power of it and the ways to use it to inspire, engage, connect, captivate, attract, magnetize, and do all the things. So in this presentation, I'm going to promise to talk to you about your story and why it matters and how it may be hindering you from achieving more in your business or career. How understanding your story puts you in the position to stand inside the power of your story and stories and lived experiences and create something absolutely amazing, and how your purpose, your vision, your goals all can be fulfilled, richly fulfilled, just by using your story, especially if you're a speaker, business owner, entrepreneur. I want you to speak. I want you to broadcast your brilliance, like I said. So what is story and why does it matter? Well, story is everything. It's who we are. It's in our DNA. It's part of our soul. It's how we connect and attract and attach to information. It's how our ancestors sat around the campfire and explained who we were and who we had come from, and really explaining the vision of where we were going. It's how we teach our little ones. It's how we learn from our elders. It's how we share allegories and information and lessons. It's how I can tell you something and you will hear it, listen to it, and resonate with it. I want to say to you also, with something very powerful about story that I found, is that whether your story is similar to mine or not, I am forever looking inside the qualities that you talk about in your stories to see if those qualities live in me. So if you have overcome something, I want to believe that I can overcome something too. If you have been strong or smart or figured out a challenge or figured out something, or you were super amazing, I look inside myself to see, does that exist inside me too? By the way, your customers, your clients, your audience is looking for themselves inside those qualities as well. Sometimes you've made mistakes and you tell me that story like, ooh, I wouldn't have made that mistake. I would have done it completely differently. I'm still resonating because I'm looking for those qualities in myself to see if they exist, to see if I could make them better, to see if I would have done it differently. It's really a beautiful thing. I want you to know also that story is truth. Your story is your truth. And the number one question I get from my clients is, what if my story involves other people? That's okay. It's still your truth. And as long as you've done the work to heal from whatever the yucky stuff, I call stories, they fall into two categories for me, either yummy or yucky. And let's say there's some yucky stuff that someone did to you or didn't do, or promised you something and didn't give it to you. It's still your truth. And if telling that story will help others go from striving to thriving, you have every right to tell that story. There's also ways to tell the story without exposing other people. We could talk about that. Story is trust. Everyone talks about, this business world. People have to know, like, and trust you. And the trust piece is very important. They have to know who you are. They can like who you are, but if they don't trust you, they're not going to buy from you. And ultimately, you're in business to be in business. Story evokes trust because, like I said, they're looking for resonance. And even though you may be completely different from me, to know who you are means I get to decide if I like you and if I want to buy from you. The other piece is that story is a tool. It's a tool that you use for your marketing, for your messaging, for your website, for your blog posts, for your videos. You can use story in a way to bring people in, attract the right people to work with you, and repel the people who would not be the people that you want to work with. It's a tool. People get to know who you are and decide if they want to work/play with you. Story is also transformation. I'm going to tell you a story in just a moment about how I understood, how I came to understand the power of story to be transformative, not only for you, but for the people who will hear it. And the last piece here is that story is timeless. Those of you who know me, I've talked extensively about visiting Egypt. And the thing that I took home a lot of things, including some sand from the Great Pyramid. Don't tell anybody. I'm sure I wasn't supposed to take the sand. I have a little vial of sand from the Great Pyramid. The thing that struck me the most is that we were looking at hieroglyphs and hearing the stories of kings and queens and gods and goddesses that were that lived or were created 6,000, 5,000, 4,000, 3,000 years ago, and that timelessness lives in you too. Everything you've done, touched, every story you've ever lived through, every experience you've ever had is part of your legacy. And you are no less timeless than the kings and queens of Egypt. Trust me. So why am I telling you all this? So in case you don't know me, Kim Coles, I am an actress, comedian, author, speaker, and coach. And in case you do know me, maybe you didn't know that I also do coach people. I've coached hundreds and hundreds of clients to get clarity on their message, on their story, and helping them to broadcast their brilliance. I know the impact of storytelling because I'm fitting to tell you how I figured it out. And I love teaching workshops, and I've got a really special workshop to tell you about soon before the presentation is over, so hang in there. So a little bit about my story, my rise, my fall, my redemption. Sounds really dramatic, right? Well, it is. I had a great start to my career in the early 90s. I was on two iconic shows, In Living Color and Living Single, a year later. And it was a really pretty auspicious start. It was strong and powerful, and I thought that my star would continue to rise. And then Living Single got canceled after 5 seasons. By the way, for the record, in case you're asking, I don't know if there's a reunion, but we all still love each other. We're all still family and keep in contact. After that show got canceled, I got really depressed because I was leaving what became my family. And you form family with not only your castmates, but also crew and everyone that works there. It's really just an awesome experience. Not to mention, it was great having a job, right? And so when it went away, I got extremely depressed. And I sort of lost myself, right? I didn't know what my purpose was, because up until then, my career had taken a trajectory where I was up, up, up. Most actors, a great deal of them, struggle in the beginning. There was no struggle. I started doing stand-up in 1985, and I was straight to the top until 10 years later, 10, 11 years later. And so the way I expressed my depression, some people eat, some people do drugs, some people drink. I shop. I shopped and shopped and shopped and shopped until I shopped my way through all of my money. And when I say all of my money, I mean down to the 3 most important payments that a girl has got to do: her house note or rent, her car note, and her weave. Let me explain the importance of this. Somebody will let me sleep on their sofa if I lose my house. I almost did. Somebody will drive me around. This is before Uber and Lyft and ride share. Somebody will give me a ride if I lose my car, and I almost did. But if I can't get my hair done, then we got a problem. You see where my priorities were. I was so depressed that I fell into those, I'm making light of it now, but at the time I fell into a place, really dark thoughts, and the kind of thoughts that just are unthinkable. Just like, if I can't work, if I can't bring joy and light and laughter to the world, because I was sure that those were my gifts, I didn't know how else I was going to do it because I had no other skill. And so I got myself into therapy, long story short, and I discovered something really, really important that if you take nothing else from this presentation tonight, I want you to have. I lost my mojo and I lost myself because I was unsure of my gifts. Here's the first of 2 things I want you to know that I learned in therapy: that everything that has happened to you has really happened for you. And I'm going to repeat that again. What if? Let's say you don't believe me. So I'll just do a what if. What if everything that has happened to you has really happened for you, to heal, to overcome, and to then go back and share with others how you figured it out? Everybody's trying to figure out something. And if the person who went on before me didn't figure it out and then come back and get me and say, hey girl, this is how you figure this out, then I wouldn't make it. You are where you are. You are who you are because someone went through some stuff and thought highly enough of you to come back and get you. This is the thing where we all lift each other, where we lift as we climb. As I learn new things, I want to share it with other people. It's how we serve and be in service in the world. And particularly at this time of the year where we're all talking about gratitude and gratitude for what is, and gratitude for 2020, even though it was a difficult year, gratitude for Thanksgiving that's coming and going soon, gratitude every day, is I found this other piece too. It's a quote by the late great Zig Ziglar. And that is this: you can have everything in life that you want if you just help other people get what they want. For emphasis, I'm saying it again. You can have everything in life that you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. The bottom line is that it's not about you. Oh, you thought it was about you, didn't you? You thought it was about you. It's not about you. It's about who you are in the face of the challenges and what you do with those challenges, what you do with the lessons that you get from those challenges. And then you go back and you help others. I'm not saying you're selfish if you don't do it. I'm saying that you, as a human being, you gotta share your story. You gotta share with people how you figured it out. And if you help one person, if you help 10 people, you may be able to help thousands and thousands of people with your very story, your very life, and your very legacy. That's how you live and leave a legacy. All you have to do is share your story. All you have to do is help others. I found that sharing my story was the way to do it. And that's why I love teaching it. Sharing your stories makes all the difference. Now, here's a problem. The problem is that you haven't understood how your story plays in your success, especially if you're an entrepreneur or wantrepreneur or speaker, coach, business owner, visionary, in some way, or you want to be any of those things. You didn't understand how your story plays. With the clarity that we're talking about right now, you'll know how to connect better with your audiences, your ideal clients, your customers, and you'll up-level your business. You'll be able to share your vision and mission. Remember I said you don't want to get your message out. You want to get it into the hearts of those who matter. And you're finally going to make the impact that I know that you know, that I know that you know that you came here to deliver. So the first thing you got to do is you got to know that you have a story. Thank you very much. Good night. That's it. Well, that's not it. That's the beginning. Just know that you have a story. You actually have a million stories. And I'm going to talk to you about in a minute how you can find out what those stories are, and I can help get them out for you and show you that you have a million of them. Some people don't even know that they have a story that matters. They don't think that they do. The next piece is to be willing to share your story, willing to tell it. Remember I said it. Everything that has happened to you has happened for you. And here's the other piece. Others will be inspired by it. Others will learn from you. Others will pay you to teach them how you overcame it. Your life experiences are the foundation of a great business. Now, a lot of people talk about how content is king, right? If we're business owners, we're supposed to be blogging and going live and writing our books and writing our speeches, and content is king. However, when you engage your audience and when you take them on a journey, you then understand that connection is queen. All hail Beyonce. Connection is the magic secret sauce. You can have all the content you want in the world, but if you don't connect to people, you're not really getting into the hearts and making the transformation that makes them want to work with you. So remember that. I want you to commit to sharing. Don't just be inspired or motivated. Really commit to getting your story out. Learn how to identify your stories. This is one of the things I love to help people do, help you to identify your stories and craft powerful stories. It's actually one of my genius zones is taking these Hollywood secrets for crafting a story and giving it to you so that you can craft your own stories in a powerful way. It's one of the ways I love working with people, and I'm going to share with you in just a moment how we could work together, and I'll give you a few examples too. And knowing when and where to use your story to connect and captivate. By the way, where do you share your story? Everywhere. You're welcome. Good night. Facebook, blog posts, live streams, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Snappy Jam, TikTok, I don't know, all the places, whatever's coming next. What's this new one? Clubhouse. Share your stories. Share your stories. If you understand the results of a well-crafted story, you understand that it creates transformation, profound impact on your audiences and customers. It makes you relatable and creates resonance, like I said, and clearly communicates your message. Also, what else can stories do? Well, they can grab attention, they can invite conversation, and they create a sense of and a feeling of belonging. So I have something I want to share with you after I take a sip of tea. Hold, please. And I call this my Kim equation. Is everything doing all right here? I'm looking at the comments. I'm not going to look at the comments. I'm going to stay here. It's called a Kim equation. And this is it. That authenticity plus vulnerability equals credibility and profitability. So let me break it down and explain it to you. The more authentic you are, the more real and authentic and just this is who I am, like it or leave it, or like it or love it, the more vulnerable you are and you share what you've learned and what you've come through and how imperfectly perfect you are. It actually creates credibility. And what I meant what I mean by that is what I talked about just a moment again, the resonance that people see themselves in you. It creates credibility and profitability when you want to go and sell your products, your goods, and your services. So this is what happened for me. I was depressed. I didn't know what I was going to do. I got myself in therapy. I got my ahas. I started just going and speaking and sharing my story with others, my story of my breakdown and my breakthroughs. People saw me as one of them, like, oh, you're not just that girl on a TV show. You mean you sometimes can't pay your bills like I can't? You mean the credit companies are calling your house just like they're calling mine? Oh, wow. You figured your way out of it? Oh, wow. How can I work with you? It happens just like that. And that's what kept me from the brink of doing the unthinkable, because I had suicidal thoughts because I just couldn't figure it out. I was depressed because I didn't know what to do next. And it wasn't just that I wanted to be on a TV show. It was like I wanted to just make the world laugh and be happy. All I needed to do was tap into my gifts and then share them with the world. And I'm telling you, you do this and you will succeed because you are giving to others. You're serving others. So I love to ask, what's your story? You have a million of them, I promise you. And I have a program I'd like to share with you that will help you get those stories out. I want you to know that a new opportunity awaits you. There's a P that I didn't include at the top. So I had, pivot and power and pride and perspective. The P is possibilities. The possibilities that you already have. You don't have to go and get anything. It already lives within you. You just have to learn how to shape it in a way that gets to the people that you want to get to. The time is now for you to pivot on purpose with your story by broadcasting your brilliance. I get all fancy with that. I truly believe that everyone has gifts, and now, and I want you to be thinking about how could you and your gifts best serve the world. I love to show people how sharing their story and sharing their gifts will not only be healing for them, but be profitable as well. So allow me to introduce something very special to you, and it is my program called Speak Your Gifts 2. Now, by the way, anybody who's watching this right now, I have a slide that says this. Anybody who was in Speak Your Gifts 1 or Love Your Story workshop or Captivate with Your Story, I'm going to be sharing that there's now a fresh, new, and improved 2.0 Speak Your Gifts. And if you were in any of those classes, DM me because I've got something really special just for you. So I just want to put that out there in case you go, Speak Your Gifts. I did Speak Your Gifts, Kim. No. You didn't do Speak Your Gifts 2. And you still have access to Speak Your Gifts 1. I'm introducing Speak Your Gifts 2.0. So imagine what it would be like to experience customers and clients running to work with you. Imagine using Hollywood secrets to tell your stories in a captivating and compelling way. Imagine what it would be like to engage, inspire, motivate, transform other people's lives using your lived experiences. They're just that valuable. Imagine what it would be like to watch opportunities just roll in with requests for you to speak and present. I got 3 emails today saying, oh, we have a summit. We want you to speak. We want you to show up and speak. We want you to host this. They roll into me. Do I have an agent that helps? Sure. But most of my opportunities come because I've said to the world, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is how I want to serve. And the opportunities come raining in, and it will happen for you too. Just imagine what it would feel like to be confident and feel comfortable presenting on virtual stages. Live stages too. The work that I do is transferable either way. So for live or for virtual. Right now we're on virtual, so I want to get you ready to be on all the virtual stages. And imagine what it would be like to learn how to turn your drama and trauma into hope and healing. I like that tagline. So this is for you if you feel called to share your journey. This is for you if you're ready to step out on faith and share your dream. This is for you if you had the I thought by nows. Have you ever heard this phrase? The I thought by now I would have ... I thought by now that this would be in place. I thought by now. The I thought by nows are draining because the truth is you can have it by now. You don't have to think that oh, I wish I had this by now. All you have to do is invest in yourself and prepare so that you can have it right now. And the way you get there is with Speak Your Gifts 2.0. So first, let me tell you what people who work with me are saying, just a few of the folks that have worked with me before, and then I'll share with you how we can work together. So this person, Angie is her name. Many of the public speaking trainings that I'm exposed to credit humor and storytelling as the best ways to engage an audience, but few people do this well. I know that Kim's Speak Your Gifts course will help me to stand out in the corporate crowd. She actually was part of Speak Your Gifts 1 and really was able to use her stories in the corporate world to attract more attention on who she was and what she was building. And she was able to build other alliances within the company by sharing who she was. Because in these corporate environments, people are people in the end, and we need to know who our people are so we can best use their gifts and talents, right? This is Clarissa, and she said, with Kim's mentorship and resources, I love giving resources. I've been able to start breaking down the walls to my better self. Those walls have been in place for years, and with this class, I'm finally tapping into my long dormant creativity, recognizing the barriers in the way, and turning vague dreams into measurable goals. Take this journey, do it for the person you want to be, you deserve it. And that was when she was in the middle of taking Speak Your Gifts 1, and Speak Your Gifts 2 is better, bigger, better, and bolder. So there's something special that I have the way I work with people, and I call it the story success system. And the large picture is that we will mine your stories, your lived experiences, define them and polish them up and refine them to be the beautiful jewels that they already are. And then I show you places and ways that you can use your story in a powerful way to be able to attract, captivate, and connect. Oh, did my email just open? Let me just double check. Can you all see what just happened here? Hang on just a second. What just happened? Is it fine? I can't hear you. You can see it? I don't know what happened to my computer. I have help. I don't know what happened. My computer just sort of froze on me, you guys. Give me just a moment. Mail just opened up on its own. And it's not closing. Hang on, everyone. I have no idea what happened. And my whole screen just died. Whoa. Oh, I don't even know if you could hear me. Could you hear me just now? Okay. Thanks everybody. I don't know what happened. My computer just went, no. You know what happened? Some updates installed, and then my computer just decided to install some updates, and I was like, we're going to shut down and rest. We need a disco nap. You can hear me now. Thank you, Josette. Thank you, Trina. Thank you, Shauna. Wow. I'm back. I will not be stopped. All right, let me get back to my whole presentation experience. Thank you all for your patience. I so appreciate you. Let me share. Whoa, that was weird. That was weird. Thank you for still being here. I hope. Oh, that's not good. Gosh. Okay, give me just a second, you guys. You can hear us now. Thank you so much. Hang in there with me. Wow, that was weird. Share your screen. I want my Chrome tab. Okay, I'm back. But it went to the beginning of my slide presentation, so watch this. Look at this. I'm gonna go fast. I'm doing my own music now. Oh my God. Okay. Where's Beyonce? There she is. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. This is funny. By the way, I'm probably going to edit this and cut all this deliciousness out. I believe you have gifts. How could your gifts serve the world? I hope you all can see this. Let me check over here. Is everybody seeing it? You can see it? Okay, good. I hope so. Can I get a thumbs up from Kim, from Team Kim? Can you see it? Thumbs up? Okay. Hi, Mary Shaw. You can see it? Thank you, Josette. Okay. I'm going to show you how sharing your gift and sharing your stories can be so healing and so profitable for you. Introducing Speak Your Gifts 2.0. I want you to imagine all these things and imagine how to turn your drama and trauma into hope and healing. I think that's where I stopped. Learn how to turn your drama and trauma into hope and healing. This is for you if you want to share your journey, if you want to step out on faith and share your dream, and if you have the I thought by now, ... I thought by now. Let me explain something to you. Where you are is where you're supposed to be. It's what you do with where you are. And my grandmother used to say, it's not how low you fall, but how high you bounce. So let's bounce all up in the end of 2020 and into 2021. This is what some of the people are saying. I read this. I love to help people mine, define, and refine the beautiful jewels that they already are and what they want to do in the world. And the way I do this is I like to call it connect and captivate to make cash. I like to teach people easy story structure secrets. I love to help you build a story bank with story prompts. In other words, just giving you the beginning sentence stems to get you thinking about amazing stories that have happened in your life that you can then tell and use to sell and share your products, your goods, and your services. And in the end, this is really all about connecting with your audience and gaining instant rapport. That instant rapport, which is what you want. You want to connect to your audience and build instant rapport. So let me tell you what's included in Speak Your Gifts 2.0. 4 live training sessions with me via Zoom. These are going to last about 2 hours or so. We start in December, and I'll give you all the details. There'll be a private Speaker Gifts 2.0 Facebook group where it all goes down. There'll be live Q&A sessions. I don't like to leave anybody behind. Those of you who are here, who are part of the community mastermind, those of you who I may have worked with before, you know I don't like to leave anybody behind. No question will go unturned. You got the Q, I got the A. Speaker Gifts worksheets and templates. Also, because I know we all learn in different ways, I'm going to provide for you the session audios and transcripts. So maybe you want to listen to the audio while you're going out for a walk, getting some fresh air. That's going to be available for you too. And lifetime access to the training and all the materials. Oh, but wait, there's more. They're called bonuses. You'll also receive a Speaker Success Resource Kit, which will give you valuable information and valuable resources to take your speaking business to the next level. There'll also be a speaker bio training and template, and an elevator pitch training and template. That's when you can explain to people within seconds who you are and how you serve them. And then you'll have them leaning in and saying, oh, I want to work with her. Oh, I got to work with that guy because he just explained to me in 8 seconds who he is and how he can serve. So this is the offer, and I call it the 2020 is almost over offer. The 2020 is almost over offer. By the way, this investment ends Sunday the 29th at midnight. This goes off the table and it goes back up to $9.97, and then it's going to go up from there because this is some really great valuable content, and I want you to have it at this great rate for now. So Speaker Gifts 2.0, the investment is only one-time payment of $697, or if you needed to pay, you could do $375 twice. So it'll be $375 when you click the register now button. I'm going to give you the link in just a moment, and $375 in 30 days from now. And this makes it manageable for you to be able to get in and get this content now. So we officially start in December 5th is when the first big training class happens, but the Facebook group is already up and running, and I'm going to be doing some pop-up trainings over these next few days and weeks leading up to the main opening, because I want to give you so much and I want to wow you with content and give you so much now to get you really ready for 2021. 2 of the trainings happen in December. 2 of the trainings happen in January. By the end of January, you will be ready to rock and roll with a talk that you can deliver anywhere virtually and anywhere live when we're ready to open back up again. The way you register is you go to storywithkim.com/SYG2. That stands for Speak Your Gifts, and this is the second updated version. So you go to storywithkim.com, and I'm sure that Team Kim is putting that in the link somewhere. storywithkim.com/SYG2. Hey, Team Kim, if you could add that, that would be awesome for me. Thank you so much. Let me go back to my pages. So I want to just say that this is for you if you want to share your story, but you don't know where to start. This is for you if you're ready to take action. I'm only looking to work with action takers, and you're ready to get your message out into the world and into the hearts of others. If you know that it's time now, you know, when I started this presentation, I talked about that episode of The Twilight Zone, and what? There was time now. We have more time in our hands than ever because things have shifted and changed. And I want you to take the time to invest the time and the resources that you need in order to get your dreams out into the world. Get yourself really ready for 2021 and beyond. This is for you also if you're already a speaker and you're just ready to go to the next level, or if you're a newbie and you're ready to step out on faith and get this dialed in for yourself as a really important part of your business. By the way, anyone within the sound of my voice, if you're in business, you need to be a speaker. You need to be speaking, and your stories are the way you can stand out from all the other noise and stand out from all the other speakers out there. Or maybe you've been speaking in small venues and you want to get to a bigger stage and serve even more people, whether that is virtual or not. So once again, here it is. It's the 2020 is almost over offer. It ends November 29th at midnight. It's $697 for full pay or $375 in 2 installments. And it's normally $997, and it is going up to $997 soon. And then in the new year, it will not be at this rate. I wanted to make it really doable for people and give you a head start on 2021 right now. So again, you go to storywithkim.com, SYG2. And like I said earlier, in case you didn't catch, if you've ever taken Speak Your Gifts, if you took Speak Your Gifts 1 or the Love Your Story workshop with me, message me for your super special discount rate. You're not going to pay $697. You get access to the old version of it. I want you to have the new one. And I have like a ridiculous, amazing, come on and say yes and get the updated content with me rate. So just message me. I'll know it's you. And or check your emails tomorrow. All right, that is where we are. If you have any questions for me, I can be found on the Instagram, on the Facebook, or you can send an email to admin@kimcoles.com, admin@kimcoles.com. Remember, I said, take this with you and use this. Really take this in to your heart. What if everything that has happened to you has really happened for you to inspire, help, heal yourself and others as well? And that you can have everything in life that you want. All you have to do is help enough other people get what they want. It's not about you. It's about the people that you would serve and help and heal. And once again, that link is storywithkim /SYG2. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my experience here and just talk to you, see if anybody has any questions. I see you, Ernetta. Thank you, Mary Shaw, for putting the link there. I appreciate you. And thank you, Team Kim. I'm going to put that on the page right there. Amazing stories that have happened to you. Yeah, listen, stories build instant rapport. All right, I've kept you all long enough, and thank you for dealing with the technical difficulties. Yes, it is live, Anthony. Yes, it is live. Did you see it go down? It went down because it is live. It is live. I am live even as we speak. As you're watching this. Now, the recording will be up for a little bit and that won't be live. But right now I am live, and I proved it because my computer just went bleh. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you, Mary, for putting that in the chat. Ernetta's laughing. Thank you. Thank you, Morada. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mary. I am live. I'm all the way live. Even when I'm not live, I'm live because I'm living life out loud, and I want you all to do so too. Oh, Mary, it would be a great birthday gift for you. Our first class is mid-December. And like I said, I'm starting the Facebook group now and starting the zhuzh, the engagement, the content. I want to get to know you. That's another thing too. I like to keep my programs small enough that I get to know you and big enough that you all get to know each other. I love engagement. I love all of us coming together to make something greater than we could do it on our own. Yes. Oh, you're very welcome, Dee Bowden. Hello, how are you? Hello, hello. Dee Bowden is going to be part of, well, let me just say this too, just so you know. So I'm doing a summit in January called the Captivating Conversation Summit. It'll be my second summit. And Dee Bowden is one of the ladies I've worked with in a special course called Speak and Get Clients, which is the next level from Speak Your Gifts. And Dee Bowden is going to be featured in the Captivating Conversations summit. So is Ernetta Caldwell. I don't know if any of my other folks are here. They're going to be featured in the Captivating Conversation Summit. So what I love to do is I love to pick from the people I'm working with to give them a fresh new platform, a fresh platform that they may not have had access to before, because that's how I like to roll. People have given me opportunities. I like to share the wealth and share the opportunities. So that's another sort of unadvertised bonus, that when we work together, I find ways to help you broadcast your brilliance. So come on and take Speak Your Gifts with me, and we can lift each other together. That's what I like to think of it. Yes, Ernetta, I'm so excited for you too. Okay. All right. All right. I'm going to let you all go and have the rest of your evening. I'll come back and look at some of these comments. Thank you for putting up with the technical difficulties. I think that is the proof that I was all the way live. Thank you so much. By the way, Facebook doesn't like it, and I'm on more than one platform right now. Facebook doesn't like when you say SHARE. Apparently, it messes with the algorithm. You can't say that because they think that I don't know why you can't say it. Somebody told me you can't say it. So what I like to say is sprinkle this with your friends and family and people who you think would like to hear the message. I would love to work with as many amazing people as possible. So if you help me by sprinkling this with people, sprinkling this with people who you think would enjoy the message, would enjoy the content, and ultimately would enjoy Speak Your Gifts 2.0, then please do sprinkle that there. And if it was just for you to receive the message that everything that's happened to you has happened for you, and the more people that you help and serve, the more rich and amazing your life will be. If I've delivered that message and nothing else, then my job is complete for the night. Everyone, I want you to have a really wonderful holiday season, and I'm sure that we will see each other really, really soon. Don't forget, you can go to that site right there, sign up. We'll get you loaded in right away, get you into the Facebook group. I'll welcome you in, and we are off and running before the first class even starts, because that's how I like to roll. storywithkim.com/SYG2. There's also going to be other bonuses and goodies that are coming. I'm saying that if you join, you might get a general admission ticket to Captivating Conversations 2, which is happening in January. I like to give goodies along the way. Come on along. Thank you so much for being here, and we will talk soon. Take good care.